Listen, social media gives us so many wonderful things. Like I have 3 daughters, and they live all over the world, literally. And I'm able to keep in touch with them because they can post pictures of their lives, and I get to see them online on places like Twitter and Instagram and Facebook and Snapchat, and I get to share that with them. But social media also comes with a nasty price, and people get nasty, and they comment, and they say things, and people just react, and they just type, I'm mad. Case in point, my next guest, Laurie Laughlin, who joins us on the phone. She is a local corporate speaker and a stand-up comic who I met at Laugh Fest earlier this year. And she has the same name, Laurie Laughlin, as a famous actress, Laurie Laughlin, who played Aunt Becky. I almost said Uncle Jesse. That's not right. No, that's John Stamos. Laurie Laughlin plays Aunt Becky on Full House. And lately she's run afoul of the law by paying money to get her children or one of her girls into USC. And she's getting all sorts of vitriol online from people. The problem is it gets directed at you, Laurie, but they don't even check to see the spelling of the name because you spell your name differently, right?
Right. First and last name both have A's. Aunt Becky has O's in both of her names.
Yeah, she's Lori, and then your last name has a difference, although it is pronounced the same?
I think so. I say Laughlin. I don't know. I've heard some people, the media, I've heard say Laughlin as well. I've also heard Laughlin and different. So who knows what she's up to.
Okay, but people are mad at her, and they want her to know about it. So they tweet you thinking that you're her.
Yeah. And they will do a screenshot of an article that shows Laurie with an O, but yet they're tweeting Laurie with an A. And they genuinely think that they are speaking to Aunt Becky.
Because they're just mad, Laurie. They're just mad. They want to yell at you for being
me to do jail time?
Yes.
They want to tell me how disgusting I am and how I make them sick.
And they tweet their favorite Fox News heroes, adding your Twitter handle for emphasis, and then people who watch that show start tweeting you. It gets crazy.
Well, I guess they say that any publicity is good publicity, but wow, some of these people are very, very upset with Aunt Becky. Very upset.
Now, before we get started, I will let people know that they can follow along on your blog at laurielaughs.com, and you can read all of what you've been through. But read to us some of the tweets that have been randomly sent to you.
Oh, the one that I noticed, I've had 3 people that are upset. Why does Laurie Laughlin ever stop smirking? Why are you smiling? You should be ashamed of yourself. And there's another one about my smiling. This is not a smiling matter. Why are you smiling on camera? Which those are actually tame, but I find humor in those. But a lot of them, some not too rated PG, some FUs, Laurie Laughlin, and hashtag jail time.
Oh, good Lord.
Yeah.
And well, I will say this, Laurie, they spell better than most Twitterers, and they seem to be able to construct sentences pretty well. That's
an interesting point, Jojo, because you're absolutely right. They're spelling your with apostrophe R-E. And I've also noticed that the political divide is equally balanced.
Yeah.
There are POTUS supporters and POTUS haters.
That's interesting because we live in this very polarized age, but there's one thing we agree on. We hate Aunt Becky from Full House.
And I'm going to have to take it. Yeah. In fact, this past weekend, which I think you caught wind of, it was 5:30 Sunday morning, California time, and this gal engaged me, and I played along because it was fun, but it was 5:30 in the morning, California time, and she insisted that she was talking to Aunt Becky.
Yeah, and she was not a happy person, and no matter how many subtle hints you gave her that you were the wrong Laurie Laughlin, she was not having it.
No, and then she bragged that she had a GPA from UNC of 3.9 something, but I think she needs to ask for a refund because her Google sleuthing was not working too well that day.
And you did get a crack in there. You said Duke is better.
Yeah.
Knowing that.
Actually, I can't take credit for that. Some of our other local comedians, we were having fun. I said, hey, you guys, you want to play this fun game? And so they were feeding me fodder, too, to So I would try different ones and see. One time, one of them that I liked, which I can't take credit for, somebody said her name was Carol, who was giving her time. So after she was insisting that she spelled my name correctly, I said, bad vowel movement, Carol. Vowel with a V. But
man, she was just mad as a hornet, though. She was. You would say, hey, look, I think you need to check some things, and she'd go, no, you need to know that you need to go to jail. And I'm like, whoa, where's that anger coming from?
Very, very angry. Yeah, and then she wanted to make a point that she spelled my name correctly.
Yes.
I'm like, well, yes, you did. However, there's a few other things that you've mistaken.
And so finally, you show her the error of her ways. You do a screen grab of your Twitter feed and then a photo of Laurie Laughlin with her name spelled correctly. And at that point, she realizes...
And I think it was actually another follower of mine that helped her, because with that graphic, I don't think it was quite still sinking in. I mean, we share similar characteristics. We're both white women, so I can see how she's confused us. But I do not look like Aunt Becky. But this other gal said to her, Carol, you've made the same mistake as others. And then she went on to say that this random follower followed me, knowing I wasn't the real Laurie, just to watch my responses towards people like her, which I thought, well, there's marketing at its finest, ladies and gentlemen.
So what have you learned through all of this?
Well, I mean, I guess my first inclination is to say people are stupid, but if I want to step back a little bit, I can say that, people are very passionate about this and about education and about fairness. They feel very, very strongly about it. But their anger just gets them pointed at the wrong person.
Yeah. And the one thing I've noticed, especially the tone of social media lately, is I think people, they just react. They don't stop, pull back for a minute, take a deep breath, think about it, and then proceed. It's like, and we're on the keyboard, and I'm guilty of this as well. But I think that's what we need to do. We need to just breathe. Take a step back. Think about it.
And it's also helped me to make sure and I'm pretty good with research. My background is I'm an analyst, and I just, research is my bag. But I really make sure before I hit the enter button that my facts are right too, because I've seen it in action. It's like, boy, you sure made a fool out of yourself just there. And
here's the sad part about this, I think, too, is here's another takeaway that I learned from this after reading your blog posting was here you were, there's a lot of joy that Aunt Becky gave the world for a brief period of time on TV, and yet you got nobody thanking you for that, did they?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Raising those twins and putting up with Jesse, that was a lot.
Exactly. Nobody said, hey, you know what? You're an inspiration to me, Aunt Becky. God bless you.
You're right, Jojo. Nobody said that to me.
No. They just hated you because you cheated.
Fair.
Yeah.
It's not fair.
All right. Well, thanks for coming on and sharing your story. I certainly appreciate it.
Hey, my pleasure. It's and Laurie Laughlin, the other one, her case has not been settled yet.
Right.
So hang on, because there's going to be another wave of this once she hits the news again. Anytime anyone's in the news. This has been going on since March, and there's no end in sight quite yet.
That's true. So keep us online. Keep us abreast of any new attacks.
Indeed, absolutely.
And you guys, I mentioned you can follow it online at laurielaughs.com if you want to read some of the postings that she got as a case of mistaken identity. Yes, Twitter. It's a fun place, isn't it? It's the Jojo Show on 98.7 WFGR.
So you think